Are you ready to unlock growth, build resilience, and confidently take the next step in leadership, career, and faith? Welcome to The Next Move. I'm Orvin Kimbrough, a CEO, author, and leader with a passion for helping people and organizations thrive. My journey from foster care to CEO has fueled my mission to help professionals scale their confidence, leadership, and influence through mindset shifts, expanded networks, and bold action. Each week, I'll share reflections ripped straight from my blog to inspire and empower you with actionable insights. Let's get started and make your next move your best move. Welcome back to The Next Move, the podcast where we explore faith, leadership, and personal growth to help you take your next step with purpose and confidence. I'm your host, Orvin Kimbrough. You know, when I started this podcast, I started it because I believe we're all just one bold step away from something greater. Even when it feels messy, even when it feels uncomfortable. And sometimes the steps that shape us the most, they don't happen on a stage. They don't happen when people are watching. They happen in the quiet, in the discomfort, when nobody's clapping. Today's episode is called When They See Your Flaws, Show Them Your Fight. Because true leadership is not about hiding your flaws. It's about moving forward anyway, head high, heart steady, fight alive. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been seen? I mean, truly seen for the wrong reason, not for your hard work, not for your talent, but for something you didn't even realize was wrong with you. Man, I'll never forget it when it happened to me. Now, it's happened multiple times, but this particular occasion could have been arresting. It could have arrested my development. I was a teenager sitting on the school bus, minding my own business, when out of nowhere, I wasn't even talking, folks. Someone started teasing me about my breath. Come on, let's laugh at that. Now, listen, I wasn't trying to be offensive. Folks, I just didn't know better. Nobody around me had modeled those habits of brushing twice or more a day, flossing, mouthwash. It wasn't something we talked about. Honestly, it wasn't even something on my radar. But in that moment, it felt like the world stopped spinning. The shame was heavy. I became painfully aware of something that had been invisible to me, but oh so visible to everyone else. And here's the thing. I could have let that shame bury me. I could have turned inward. I could have gotten angry. I could have blamed the world. Instead, I decided to fight. I scraped together what little money I had, walked to the neighborhood over, the next neighborhood, not my neighborhood. I found a supermarket that would take food stamps. And I picked up a toothbrush and some toothpaste. That sounds simple, right? Well, that's what I thought. But standing in that checkout line, folks, it was one of the bravest things I've ever done. Because just as I'm about to pay, I hear laughter. It was familiar laughter. I glance over my shoulder and there they were. The same kids who had mocked me on the bus, their eyes locked on the items in my hand. Toothpaste and toothbrush and food stamps. Folks, I wanted to disappear. Every part of me wanted to run out of that store, to throw the items back on the shelf, to pretend I didn't need anything. But I didn't. I just stood there. I paid. I walked out of that store, my head high, my plastic bag swinging at my side. I walked out of that store, folks, with a lot more than toothpaste in my hand. I walked out with ownership. I had ownership of my growth. I had ownership of my future. You know, that moment, that moment could have been forgettable. Just a kid buying toothpaste, right? But if I had turned around and walked out, if I had let the shame win that day, maybe I would have started a pattern of hiding instead of healing. Did you catch that? Maybe I would have taught myself to avoid hard things instead of facing them. That tiny choice, boy, it was such a small choice. It was the beginning of becoming someone who could stand tall no matter who was watching. Fast forward to today, years later in boardrooms, years later leading teams, years later making tough calls. Guess what? Those same feelings, folks, they still creep in, they still creep up. Those moments of insecurity, those moments when you feel seen, but not for your gifts, not for your talents. Instead, you feel seen for your gaps. They still creep up. They still creep in. And here's what I've learned. Folks, growth feels uncomfortable. Progress feels awkward. But discomfort, exposure, they're not signs that you are failing. They are proof that you are moving. That bus ride, that checkout line, they're no different than standing up in a boardroom pitching an idea that scares you. They're no different than leading a risky project. Folks, they're no different than speaking up when your voice feels shaky. The world may see your flaw, but guess what? God sees your fight. Your flaw is just the crack where his light gets in and where your true strength shines out. And your fight, folks, it's what shapes you into a leader worth following. I think it's worth saying that again. Your fight is what shapes you into a leader worth following. So if you're standing at your own checkout line moment, maybe it's a big presentation. Maybe it's a career change. Maybe it's a difficult conversation. And you're feeling exposed. You're feeling vulnerable. You're feeling unsure. Hold your head high. You are not defined by the flaw they see. You are defined by the fight you refuse to quit. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for needing to grow. Every bold step you take is a quiet act of rebellion against fear. Folks, run through the tape. Step through the discomfort and trust. Deeply trust that every hidden act of courage is sculpting you into the leader you were born to be. You are more than what they see. You are everything you dare to become. Thanks for listening to The Next Move. If this episode resonated with you, folks, I encourage you to just share it with someone who needs a reminder that their fight matters. Their fight matters. Your fight matters. And remember, the next move is yours. Until next time, stay steady, stay bold, and keep fighting forward. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to The Next Move. I hope today's reflection inspired you to take the next step in your leadership career or faith journey. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need a little encouragement this week. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like more reflections or resources, visit orvinkimbrough.com or theaccidentalbanker.com. Until next time, remember, every step you take brings you closer to thriving. Let's keep moving forward together.